Hello, today is November 20th, 2011, and I'm about to give you an update on my Dwarf Cavendish banana plant. And let's go check out the bananas. The process for the bananas are complete. I counted around, I believe it was like 82 bananas total. Let me move this leaf out of the way. As you can see, we got quite a few bananas on there. I'm doing quite well for being inside. And like I said, about around 82-ish, I think. And as you can see, the bud is still opening up, one bract at a time. And but now, instead of female flowers at the end of the bananas, as you can see, another view of the bananas. They're starting their male flower run, and they're different. The green part, the fleshy part, like up here with the bananas, are a lot smaller, and the flowers are a lot longer. And they also have like a little green tip. They also look differently than the female flowers did. These will not produce bananas. And for as long as this bud keeps dropping, the bracts keep going out, that's all you'll see from now on are the male flowers. They do not produce. So the plant is done producing bananas, and once this gets far enough, you have the option of actually cutting it off, and that'll give all the energy to the banana production and not to the flower production. So I'm contemplating whether I'm going to do that or if I'm just going to let the process keep going. So but I got a little bit of time before I got to worry about that. Here's a couple other bananas again. I brought a bunch more inside, even though it really wasn't necessary. It's yet to get below freezing where I'm living this year, so. But here you can see oh, that was, if you could hear that, that was my little sports sticker, paying attention to the Green Bay, Tampa Bay game. Someone must have scored. This one's also a Goldfinger. Like I said, I have the Manzano right there, and this one here is the unnamed FHIA 18. I've also brought in this one. It's one of the grand names that I had. Those of you that think, oh, this looks like a Dwarf Cavendish, it's very similar. The big differences between this one and the Dwarf Cavendish is, one, it'll get a little bit taller than a Dwarf Cavendish, but also, if you notice, the stem is red, which the Dwarf Cavendish doesn't keep a red stem like that. Also, if you notice that it only has one pup. I have one outside that's also in a pot that doesn't have any pups. Now, those of you who grow Dwarf Cavendish, you know that Dwarf Cavendish pup quite frequently, and this is not pupping at all, hardly. So that just tells you that those are the main differences between Dwarf Cavendish and like a Grand Nain or some other Cavendish plat. Over here is my Dwarf Nama. This one will be going into the ground next year, and so will the Grand Nain. So this one here, these are known They have a pink stem, which you can kind of see that already. I don't know how well you can see that. It has a pink stem. Now that it's cooled off outside and stuff, it's not as distinct of a color as it was earlier this year and in the summer. But these Dwarf Cavendish get a huge base on them. I mean, as wide as a basketball. But the plant will get about 8-9 feet. But you'll have a base on it like almost as wide as that pot, actually. Pretty close. I mean, it's just an amazing plant, and they also produce heavily. So I can't wait to get that in the ground and see what it'll do. But anyways, everything's doing great inside. I mean, it's been really nice again. Last few days been mid-70s, so I'm probably just going to keep them inside because running them in and out, even though I probably really didn't have to bring them in. But that's my update. I'll update soon.